Hello, everyone. Hi. It is Catherine here, Conscious Creatrix. Hello. Welcome to the magic of August 2019. We are in a really special time, and this is, to me, such an exciting time in the Ascension process. It's been incredible. It's been a little overwhelming for me, and I'm sure for many of you who are listening, watching. If you're catching this in the replay, go ahead and put in #replay. I have been kind of incubating. Hi, Savitri. I have been incubating with some of these energies in a big way, and it's taken me out of rotation because you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little nasally. I've been sick. Classic Capricorn. I want to do all the things. And I get very excited, and I put a lot of irons in the fire, and I have a lot of projects that I get going at any given time, and then I forget the basics of what I talk about and what I share with you guys, which is self-care. And so the universe is really great at stepping in and intervening and saying, hey, we're going to take you out of rotation for a little bit. So I've been sick. I'm on the mend right now, but summer colds are the worst, by the way. They seem to linger forever. But I'm feeling good. I'm definitely feeling the shift. Right after yesterday, August 1st hit, and not only did we move out of Mercury retrograde, but I definitely felt the black new moon energies in a really powerful way, especially with a lot of intuitive messages and hits coming in. My dreams are usually crazy, but they've been off the charts. Maybe some of you are noticing this as well. Well, Savitri, the universe can step in, or you can take yourself out of rotation. You just stop. and I need to learn this too. I need to learn that I can't do all the things all the time. I want to do all the things, but I'm still limited by my human body in a lot of ways, and so I need to take more care of it. But this shift that I just felt yesterday has just been phenomenal, and I really spent the last, let's just say, 48 to 60 hours really allowing myself to just keep tuning in. And anytime I went into the ego mind and the ego scope of my perception saying, but you got to do this, you got to tackle that, you have to do this, you have to do that, I would just kind of redirect and go back into the energy that I was plugging into, which feels very expansive, feels very big, and getting a lot of downloads and information about not only what August energies have in store for us and through this month, but really through the next 6 weeks, because we're going to feel this powerful momentum through the first 2 to 3 weeks of September as well. That's all part of these August energies and the things that are aligning right now. And this is such an exciting time to not only be alive and to be doing the work that I do, sharing with people how to make the most out of this ascension process, how to really move through this ascension process in a way where we understand what's going on. Maybe we don't always get the things as they're happening, but in hindsight, we're able to kind of look back and say, oh, okay, that's why that happened. I get it. And the hindsight, like the gap in between, like the things coming in for our highest and best good and the hindsight, maybe some of you notice that gap is closing. Like before, like even last year or 3 years ago, 5 years ago, it used to be like there was a huge gap between like things that happened and then the hindsight and the wisdom and the insight that comes in that says, oh, that's why that happened. It seems like that gap is compressing, yes? Is anyone else on board with that thinking or that experience? Because that's what I'm really feeling, that, you know, the information, the intuitive wisdom that is coming in to help us understand that these events that are happening that seem like they're taking away from our experience, they're actually elevating our experience. But in the moment, we don't always see that. We're not always privy to that because we spend a lot of time in our ego scope of perception. And this has kind of brought in some interesting things for us, because with these shifts that are happening, especially with the major tsunami like of emotional fallout that we've had over the last, let's just go ahead, I mean, if you want to really draw it out, we could say over the last year and a half, 2 years, but really over the intensity of over the last like 2 months, the emotional fallout that we've experienced from just elevating in our perspective, elevating in our consciousness, has made us feel a little bit gun shy. Yeah, we want to draw back a little bit. And so even though maybe we have been doing some great work for a while about, really excavating our inner reality and seeing what's going on and what doesn't jibe, what doesn't match up with what our inner reality is and what we're expecting to show up in our outer reality. And a lot of us have had a lot of epiphanies around this. We've really opened up a lot to the bigger picture scope of things. But in doing that, we kind of go into this place of avoidance, because the excavation of shadow just feels like it's never ending. And I have news for you, it's not ever going to end, because we keep elevating in our consciousness. That means that we keep stepping into a new level of our realization in our human awakening process. This means that stuff has to fall away. We need to enter into that great emptiness, the great void, the blessed void, as I call it, because the universe needs us to be as empty as possible to move into alignment with this ascension process. And a lot of us at the same time are feeling like, yeah, but this shedding is so painful, I just can't do it anymore, and it doesn't stop. So we kind of draw back and we go into avoidance. And we go into another type of avoidance, which is passivity. And both of these things have something in common. Oh, thanks, Janine. You are so lovely. I'm wearing something that isn't gray for once. It's helping me. Maybe you weren't here at the beginning of the call, but I've been sick, and so I'm trying to wear bright colors and wear my bright, beautiful jewelry. I have a hummingbird necklace on, and anything that's like full of joy, I'm wearing right now to help me move out of this last phase of being sick. So thank you for your compliment, because that helps too. So there's something in common. There's a common denominator with avoidance and passivity, and that is self-abandonment. I know we're just reeling from this constant shedding of layers. We feel like an onion that never stops peeling away its layers, and we're like, when are we going to get to the core? Well, you're not ever really going to, and you have to stop thinking about it that way, because you are in that perception. You are looking at the process of ascension from a level of ego perspective. So there's always going to be a disconnect. There's always going to be something that disassociates you from this higher level of consciousness if you're looking at it as, when is this going to end? When do I arrive? You never really arrive. There's no destination with ascension. And we have to move away from this idea that, I see a lot of you out there, and this might sting a little bit, but you need to hear this. I see a lot of you out there who are, trying to trick the universe into helping you ascend by, joining up for every free challenge where, clear these emotions and receive this activation, or get this card pull where your angel guides will tell you what's going on and they'll help heal you. You're sidestepping. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, because you think, like, if I show up for enough like these free activations and these card pulls, and I'll find out some information about myself, and I go, that's interesting, and just in that realization, I'm good. And then the universe will know that I'm willing to go to wherever it is you think you're going to go when you ascend, and I'll just be taken away in that wave of ascension. And it's like that commercial from the 70s, and I'm totally dating myself here. Calgon, take me away. A lot of you are still operating in this paradigm of, I don't really have to do anything except the bare minimum. I'm going to sidestep, avoid, and be passive in my process of emptying out all that I am not. And the universe will just know that I'm willing to go wherever ascension will take me. Nope. I'm here to tell you that is not going to work. And if you are still in this place of thinking that way, you are really going to be stuck for a long time. And this is going to be a much more painful process for you, because I'm here to tell you these energies are not going to become less intense. These tsunami, waves of energy that come in and feel like they just knock us over, it's not going to become less intense. Although there is good news with August, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But the way it becomes less intense is when you stop spiritually sidestepping. You stop with the avoidance. You stop with the passivity. And many of us will think that, well, if I'm just passive, if I just accept things as they are because that's how the universe wants them to be, and I just can accept things as they are and I really don't need much, I'll just go into love all the time and I'm going to avoid the more painful emotions. No, it's not going to work, dear ones. It is not going to work. The avoidance and the passivity, the universe reads that as you not being invested in this process of ascension, which is a match in alignment. It is not a destination. Ascension isn't somewhere you go. It is something you align with. And you only align with it by this great emptying, the blessed emptiness, the sacred void. And that is shedding all that you are not. The more you are avoiding and the more you are passive in your own life, the more painful this process of ascension is going to be. We really have to stop deluding ourselves about what this is all about. It's not a destination. It is an alignment, okay? In the universe, just because you think, well, they must know I'm doing all this work, they must know, whoever they is, that I want to ascend, that I want to go to this place. So I'm just going to be swept up in that wave when it comes. It is here. It's not coming. It's here. It's now. There is no other time except now. So everything hinges upon what you are doing in the now, how much you are releasing, how much you are excavating, how much you are in the process of self-examination, of self-discovery, of self-realization. And in that, self-acceptance. And when I say self-acceptance, I'm not saying that you spiritually sidestep and just say, okay, I accept who I am and this is just it. No. It means that when any change must take place to further your journey through elevated consciousness, it is about accepting where you are right now and then being in the moment and saying, but I'm going to reach for this next best available emotion. I'm going to go into my body and say, what is out of alignment here? What emotional imprint am I carrying that makes me feel out of alignment with this expansive energy that is all around me? What is this bubble of like this low vibration emotion that's keeping me in this like impermeable membrane of energy where I feel like I'm over here and I can't get over there? It is always an emotional imprint. And if you are not clearing that, if you are avoiding it, if you're being passive about it, you will not get from here to there. And again, it's not a destination, it's an alignment, okay? Does that make sense? Is the concept of limitless that people avoid. Yes, limitlessness that people avoid, absolutely. We cannot really fully grasp this, especially not from an ego scope of perception. And if you are in a place of avoidance, if you are in a place of spiritually sidestepping your journey, of purging the emotions of everything that you are not, if you are in a place of passivity, saying, oh, the universe will just take care of it. The universe is your co-creator. You can't put the full burden of the universe on helping you clear what needs to go, helping you release what needs to be shed, so that you can truly inhabit the space of all that which you are. Because it's never that you are not all that which you are, which is pure source consciousness. It's not that you are holding spirit in your body. It's that your body holds spirit. Or what I want to say is your body is in spirit. So you're never not your pure soul essence. But we have to clear away all the layers of all that which we are not, all the emotions that are keeping us from this full realization of who we truly are. And if you're not doing that, you are in a place of self-abandonment. Self-abandonment does not jibe with the vibe of ascension at all, okay? The universe requires your absolute, complete, and full participation in this process of ascension. It's not passive, okay? And you are getting a lot of help. It's not that you can't ask your guides. It's not that you can't ask your guardian angels. It's not that you can't ask your angels, period, for help. They are all here to help. They cannot interfere unless you ask. But you have to be very specific about what you're asking. And the only way to get really specific about what you're asking is knowing where you are at the moment. What you're holding on to that is keeping you in a place of limitation. Knowing where you are that is keeping you in a place of negation. And you can only get there is if you're fully self-aware. If you are self-realized. And the only way to self-actualize, meaning fully participate in this process of ascension, is to be completely aware, completely present in the now, and be honest with what you are holding on to that is keeping you in a place of self-limitation, self-negation. And it is always and ever an emotional imprint. When you are holding on to lack, when you are holding on to shame, when you are holding on to guilt, when you are holding on to resentment, blame, grief, sorrow, sadness, all of these things are your responsibility to clear. Now, it's not that you can't ask for help. I ask for help all the time, especially this last month. I've been asking for a whole lot of help. Help comes. And then I'm in this place of incredible gratitude and appreciation that whenever I ask, the universe delivers. But if you don't know what you want, how's the universe supposed to know how to swoop in and give you the help that you need? You have to know where you're at in order to ask for what you want. That means you have to be fully self-aware. That means you have to be in the present. That means you have to be in the now. And you have to ask yourself, how is how I'm being right now serving me on this process of ascending? Is it serving me? Nope. Then what do I need to do to clear it? Go ahead and ask for help when you are at that point of realization. And then do what you need to do to co-create in that process. You don't just burden the universe with all your shit and say, here, you figure it out. It doesn't work that way. You will never align with the vibration of ascension if you are operating from that mindset. It's just not going to work. That's self-abandonment. That is being passive. That is avoidance. Okay? It sounds like I'm being a little harsh here, but it's just, I see so many things where people, it's like, you're just not getting it, people. You're just not getting it. Everything that you think about ascension and what I said a second ago about, that old commercial from the 70s, Calgon, take me away, that you're just going to get swept up in this wave, and all the other people that are, operating at a lesser level of consciousness than you are not going to get swept up into this beautiful wave of ascension. I got news for you, sweetheart. You are operating on the same level of unconsciousness. You have to be aware. You have to be present. You have to know what you're holding on to that is keeping you in this bubble, this impermeable membrane, rather, of energy that is not allowing you to match with the vibration of ascension. And it's lack. It's poverty consciousness as a whole. It is shame. Shame and guilt are some of the most powerful self-negating emotions you can possibly be holding on to. And I got a news for a lot of you ladies out there. In some way, shape, or form, you are holding on to some shame and some guilt that you have not processed. You haven't integrated it. What is it? Especially if you are struggling with having your basic needs met, whatever it is, financial support, love, feeling like, in order to have your cup be full and have it runneth over, that you need some love from outside of you. Okay, well, there has to be self-love first. The love that can come in from the outside only matches the vibration of what you're holding on the inside, only and ever. So if you are not operating from a place of complete self-love, you are going to be scratching your head and wondering why. Why isn't love coming? Why am I not worthy? Look at shame and guilt. Go through the memories in your life where you might be holding that imprint, because it is keeping you in a place of self-negation and self-limitation. Not only are you not having your basic needs met, but you are not matching with the vibration of ascension at all. Okay? I'm here to be a truth teller. Okay? I'm not that kind of mentor or teacher that will take you by the hand and say, oh, everything is going to be okay. That's not me. That is not me. I mean, I'm always saying this with a mad amount of respect and love for you, because I want you to heal your shit. I want you to heal your shit because I know how important it is for me. I know how important it is for me. It has changed my life. Once I cleared the shame and the guilt and the lack imprint from my life, everything shifted. Everything shifted. And it's not that imprint doesn't, it's not like a one-time thing. It's not like, think of it this way. Releasing the imprint of, let's just say, something you're holding on to that has been informing your life, has been the driving force in your life, and has created the story of you up until now. Let's just say it's shame and guilt. It's like taking a shower. It's not like that you just take a shower once and you're done. No, you need to take a shower every day. The same is true of releasing this imprint of shame or guilt. You have to keep releasing. There are layers that we keep excavating. This comes from being fully self-aware. This comes from being fully self-realized, okay? And here's the good news about that. Every time you keep clearing those layers, you are opening up more to the great emptiness, the grand emptiness, the blessed emptiness, the blessed and sacred void, where you are broadcasting an even clearer signal to the universe that says, I am on board with this process of ascension. I'm in it. I'm in it. I'm never not in it, because I'm fully participating in this process of releasing, of clearing, and emptying myself of all that I am not. There's no other way, my friends. There's no other way. And I know it's painful. I know. I have been through the ringer in the last 6 weeks. Everything kind of slowed down or even stopped in my life. A lot of people have reached out to me with the same set of experiences. I know how painful this is. I get it. But this emptying allows you to get closer all the time, to the pure source consciousness, the higher field of intelligence that is a stream of awareness that runs within you, within me, within everyone we know. There's only one way to ever get closer to that. And that is releasing and shedding all that you are not. Okay? So true. Self-love is so important. I can't see all the comments here. I'm going to try to click. I apologize for the nasal stuff. So true. Self-love is so important. Yes. And we have to remember something that is so important. There's nothing that is mutually exclusive. It doesn't cancel itself out when you are in self-love and you are releasing these self-limiting emotions at the same time. In fact, it's so much more important for you to anchor into self-love, self-care as you're releasing. The more you love and forgive yourself for every single thing you're releasing as it's happening, the more you are reaching that blessed emptiness. The more you are reaching that level of complete and divine communion with all that which you truly are. Your soul level of being, your soul level of expression. So the thing that anchors you into that awareness, into that vibration, is more and more self-love. And it's hard as we release, we want to go through like all the memories of when the shame happened, of when the guilt happens. And we go in a process of reliving, but we don't need to do that. We can anchor into that self-love and be in a place of review. We don't have to go back into all the pain. It's important to review it and say, well, how did this imprint get there? And now how can I forgive myself for it? The best thing that you can possibly do as you are releasing all of these layers is say the forgiveness mantra. The Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, and I love you. As you release, as you shed, say it over and over again. Get your prayer beads and say it 108 times. Do whatever you have to do. But there's nothing that says that you can't anchor into forgiveness, anchor into self-love as you release these painful emotions. In fact, do. Because you will find the process of releasing a lot more graceful. Okay? And then you won't fear it so much to a place where you need to avoid it, to a place where you need to just be passive about it and say, oh, that's not really me. I know how hard it is. So I want to say one more thing about these August energies. So the good news. Here's my here's my sandwich of harsh realities and then some really good news. August energies. We are coming into a period of stabilization. So that is not to say that the energies aren't going to continue to be on a wave of intensity, but you're going to have an experience of, let's just say, in terms of visuals, July felt like this. Like we're going up and down, up and down, up and down, right? July felt a lot like that. So what August is going to feel like is more like this. It's going to go up and down. And the intensity is going to be there. But more intensity will be there directly, like in correlation with how much you're avoiding. So the intensity of energies that are going to come in will directly correlate to how much you're avoiding or sidestepping your process of clearing, your process of releasing all that you are not. To the degree that you're sidestepping what needs to be done with your inner reality to cultivate the garden, let's just say, of pure source being that resides within you. If you're avoiding the clearing, if you're avoiding the harsh emotions, if you're avoiding the painful memories and avoiding the excavation process, it's really at this point kind of inevitable that the waves are still going to feel like this for you. However, if you're on board with more of this process of releasing, if you're stopping the avoidance, if you're stopping the passivity, okay, it's going to feel like this. It's going to be like more of a fun ride, okay, and less of like a roller coaster. Some of us like the roller coaster. I like the roller coaster. This will feel more like a tilt-a-whirl. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. But it's more of a fun ride at the carnival. Let's just put it that way, because it's not as, it doesn't make your stomach drop, okay? And some of the energies that we have felt in July really felt like, it's like the bottom falls out. It's like when you know what July felt like to me? And maybe you can get on board with this analogy. It's like when you're walking down the stairs in the dark and you forget that there's, you've come to the end of the staircase and you step down like there's another stair, but it's not. It's just a step downward. And it's like you feel like your stomach kind of drop out. That's how all of July felt to me. So, but the stabilization is going to come. The stabilization is going to come. So here's what we do in this period of stabilization. This is a time to really commit to a process where you say, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with feeling this imprint of lack. I'm done with feeling this imprint of shame, of guilt, of resentment, of blame, of constantly playing the victim or the martyr. I'm just done. And it's not from a place of anger. It's not from a place of self-blame either. It's from a place of profound forgiveness. And it's this place of resignation where you just say, you know what? I'm just done. I'm just done with that. I know that there's more to the story of me. I know that my human awakening process and the continued elevation of that process hinges upon directly my participation in this clearing and the knowing that there is something better for me, that there is something more expansive for me, that there's more to the story of me. That in order to derive more meaning, I can't look for that outside of me. I can't look to the whole process of ascension as a whole and say, this is what's going to save me. This is a time where we say, I save me. I save me. I'm the answer to all my prayers. I'm the answer to all my problems. And there's one way to do that. And that is investing in yourself, investing in this next stage of your growth. You can have it be really painful and continue the avoidance and continue the passivity, because the awakening is going to come one way or another. It can be a rude awakening, or it can be a deliberate awakening that has your full and complete participation. You get to decide, because that's the wonder of having free will choice. I like to opt for the deliberate awakening. That is what I teach. That is what I share. And yes, my next live program is coming up on September 5th. This is an awesome time to commit to yourself, because the most important thing that you will ever do in this lifetime is commit to yourself. Because if you're not operating from the standpoint and the viewpoint that you are the most important thing in your life, then that is a place of self-abandonment. That is a place of avoidance. That is a place of passivity. If it's more important for you to manage all the other expectations that are out there of you, your boss's expectations of you, your family's expectations of you, and it's more important for you to just keep the status quo and not rock the boat and not do for you what needs to happen for you, that is self-abandonment to a T. So if you are done with a limiting emotional imprint, an emotional blueprint of who you are that is keeping you in a place of lack, keeping you in a place of self-negation, of self-limitation, this is what this program helps you to do. It's a 10-week program, and it is one of the most powerful programs of self-discovery that you will ever participate in. I've helped dozens of women in this program come to a place of profound self-awareness, and in that, I've seen amazing changes take place. I've seen a woman hit the $1 million mark in her business from this program. I have seen women cure the symptoms of her Lyme disease with this program. I have seen women pick up their lives completely from everything they knew or thought they knew and completely start over, and this is at age 61. I have seen women who thought that it was too late for them, they were too old, they were too set in their ways, completely transform and change their lives into something they couldn't even imagine was possible for them at the outset, at the beginning of the program. This is a transformational program of profound proportions, because not only does it help you just while you're in the program, but you have the tools and the resources to keep up leveling in your level of personal and radical transformation, and it keeps resonating. A lot of the women that I have used this program with, and it's been one-on-one, private coaching, private mentoring with these women, they have taken these tools that I've given them, these resources that are in this program, they have taken it and they ran with it, and they keep using it, and they keep employing these tools that I share. It is really the new consciousness mechanics, the new way of kind of bringing our, let's just say, old circuitry, our ancient circuitry of the brain, and bringing it to a place of operating in the quantum field. This is where we're at now. This is what we are evolving into. And it is something that can be taught. It is something that can be known. It is something that can be used right now. So this program is starting on September 5th. It's 10 weeks. It is a live group program. We have 10 weekly calls at 11 a.m. Pacific time every week. All the calls are recorded. There is a Facebook group to support you. There are bonuses, and one of the bonuses is that if you want to sign up for this program this weekend and add on 24-strand DNA activation and restructuring, which is an incredibly profound way to change your physical DNA by bringing in your divine etheric imprint, your divine etheric blueprint into your physical DNA now and changing the structures of your body. It literally changes the organs, the structures, the circuitry of your body. You can add this on for $397, which is $100 off from what I usually charge, if you sign up for the full price of the program. There is a payment plan. So I'm going to put the link in the comments. If this is for you, I would love to see you in this program. If you have questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm going to put the link in the comments so you can read everything about the program, and the link to join is right there. This is one of the profound pieces of that level of self-commitment that you make to yourself to move out of avoidance, to move out of passivity, to move out of spiritual sidestepping. To really take that next step means that you invest in yourself. There is so much that you can't possibly know right now that is open to you. Your imagination is still tethered to a 3D level of being and a base level imprint based on lower vibrational frequencies of lack, of conditioning that is human conditioning, that is around poverty consciousness, that is around shame, that is around guilt. A lot of feminine wounding is keeping us from ascending to our highest level of soul expression. you can change that now if you make that commitment to yourself. So I hope this has helped you. I hope you understand that Ascension is it's not a destination. It is something, you don't go there, you align there. And you can make this journey so much easier on yourself if you understand that, and start employing the consciousness mechanics that allows you to align with that level of consciousness, and you can do it right now. So I want to thank you so much for those of you that have been here live. I always appreciate you being here with me, and I want to wish you a beautiful, beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and love and peace.